So one additional nugget came out of the Brent Venables press conference that I decided needed its own separate video, something for us to talk about because you all jumped in the comments asking questions about it. I've seen it throughout comments on additional videos, and it's about our kicking situation. Coach Venables addressed that in his press conference yesterday, and he kind of got to the point. A few people are not very happy with the answer, and I'm going to break it down as to why his answer made so much sense. And so I'm not going to bury the lead. Zach Schmidt's going to be the starting kicker going forward still. And there's a few reasons why. Let's dive into that and talk about the kicking situation and why you got to not buy the propaganda out there, because the propaganda exists for a reason. Before we do that, for the uninitiated, welcome to Unfair Sports. I'm your host, Jay. Thank you for pulling up to the channel. Let's dive into the situation around our kicker here and what Coach Brent Venables said basically is going on in that situation, right? So let's dive right into it and waste no more time. So in the presser yesterday, Coach Brent Venables addressed that exact situation, the problem we're having at kicker, and he said it this way. The best way to say it is, we've got to get a little better in our confidence and our fundamentals at kicking. We've been too inconsistent there. And that is an understatement on what we've seen from our guy, Zach Schmidt. And one thing that it's funny, I saw it on social media. Someone posted and said, we should not know the kicker's name. That's something we should not know. And because of all the complaints, that's basically who we're dealing with. And so this year, Zach is out there. He's 12 for 18 in field goal attempts this season. 12 for 18. That's that's number 3 that's the third worst, to say it that way. Third worst in the Big 12, so he's at the bottom. He's 2 spots above the worst kicker in the Big 12 right now, and he's just not been the most consistent at kicking. And so the woes have gotten worse. Like he opened the season 4 for 4, but he's missed 6 of his last 14 attempts. That includes 5 of his last 9 field goals that he's tried over the last 5 games. I know, kicking has been bad. It's not been where we need it. Kind of brutal. Whatnot, right? And his misses have come from 36, 45, 38, 43, 51, and 28 this season. So there's no rhyme or reason to what he's missing. It's not that he's missing long kicks only. He's missing short ones. There's the inconsistency has been there. And one of those things that I've always believed that is, if you want to avoid the problem of the kicking game, is just don't give us a reason to kick. Find a way to get that first down, or make sure you have a 4th and short. Go for it and get the first down real quick. We've got the runners that can do it, but it's neither here nor there. But there is some silver lining here, and I'm going to talk to you about what Brent Venables said in that presser. But one thing that's silver lining in this is that I'm hoping not to jinx this situation, but this is a crazy stat. He's 55 for 55 on extra points this year, 112 out of 112. Knock on wood. Pretty good to extra point. But it's those kickers that are key, right? Those kicks that are deep, those kicks that are for game winners, those kicks that are to seal games, those are important. And right now, consistency isn't there. And so this is what Venables mentioned in the conversation during his presser was, this is why Zach Schmidt's going to be your starting kicker going forward. And this is why the argument for him not, it's kind of null and void at this current point. This is what he said. Again, we kick multiple guys in practice, and Zach's been our most consistent. The most consistent. So just like at quarterback, if the quarterback's lacking accuracy, it's got to get better. You got to throw it on time. Sometimes it's an instinctual thing for quarterbacks. Sometimes it's a mechanics thing. We got to get better. And to use that analogy for quarterback for people to understand that the biggest problem right now is the lack of confidence. We've got to figure out what mechanics need to change, because in practice, this is not the case of what we're seeing in game. And so some people are like, oh, we need to bring in some of the other guys. Well, if they're kicking worse in practice, what makes you think they're going to be better in game? Right? And so, like, for example, here's a video of a Schmidt kicking a 55-yarder, it looks like. He's able to kick some deep ones, and I mean, this one flew right uprights. But this is also in a controlled environment. This is inside the facility. It looks like he's in a comfortable situation, right? Here's one from 50 back when he was a recruit, and he was, being, comfortable in the snow, 50-yarders. Look beautiful, right? And so that led to a whole bunch of propaganda. There's Andrew Purcell, the kicker from Jinx, 2023 class. I believe he's a walk-on the team right now. And he was in the facility, he kicked a 60-yarder. So this one's been floating around social media. And this is why I tell you, do not believe the propaganda. Coach Venables was spot on with what he said. In practice, this is the guy that's making the kicks. This is the one that's the most consistent. He's making the most. Unfortunately, it's not translating to games. So if you think missing them in practice is going to translate to you hitting them in games, I don't know where that logic really falls. I that's not something I can believe in. You can make that argument, but it's not an argument that I would actually believe in. And see, you see one of our JUCO transfers here in Reddy Mustafare. Let's look at his kick. He's making this field goal here at a 60-yarder. So my point behind showing you these videos of the propaganda machine that you see from any recruit or any player is that in a controlled environment, guess what's going to happen? They're going to make them. And it looks good. Something that you think is happening, it's unfortunately not happening. So we've got work to do in the kicking game. I 100% agree with you all. I'm not saying this to deter you all from your criticisms of what we're doing. I'm just pointing out the facts for you all to understand that, yes, we've got problems in the kicking game. Yes, we are struggling with what's going on. Yes, Coach Venables understands that. And so in practice, he puts in the work. And it appears week after week, Zach Schmidt is definitely winning out in practice. So we'll see what it looks like next season. We've got more players coming in. We'll have more options at the kicking game. And Zach Schmidt may come out and become perfect. But this is 2 years in a row. 2 years that the numbers that he has right now is what he's had. He was 12-16 last year. He's had similar numbers in there. I actually saw Parker Thune tweet that out, that the numbers have been similar over the last 2 years. George Stoya over there at On 3 and Sooner Scoop has mentioned the exact same thing. It appears that they've been the same on a consistent basis. And so we've got to get better. That's all that matters. So that's my thoughts on Venables and him talking us through what's going on with the kicking game. Hop in the comments, let your boy know what's your thoughts. Love to hear from you all there. And if you've made it this far, you like the content, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Love to have you join this great family of college football fans. We're talking a lot of OU football, college football in general, and of course having a great time doing it. And so we'll talk about the polls at the end of the day. We're waiting for the college football playoff rankings to come out. I'll tell you how I feel about those rankings as well as where the Sooners sit and all the rankings and where they sit in the fold of things, as we're in hopes of making a college football conference championship game, not a college football playoff berth, a conference championship game. We're hoping that the opportunity does present itself. And I mean, it's a good chance. Things happen, right? So YouTube said check out one of these videos. I highly recommend it because I curated for you. We will talk soon. Peace.